everybody? Okay.
I'm gonna get myself. Okay.
Okay, like I said, I'm a little offbeat, and my topic actually is about eating boogers. That's right, I said eating boogers. And, what would you say if I said that I eat my boogers regularly? What would you say, though, if I told you that every one of you eats your boogers regularly? Well, according to Kids Health, one of the websites I looked at, that mucus, it's the part of the booger, actually protects the lungs. It's the way the mucus kind of ensnares and traps things, and dust, dirt, germs, pollen, that kind of stuff. And then when it's caught, it kind of gets moved. The fancy word, locomotion. The hairs they all got. It kind of moves it like surfing a crowd at a concert, right? And the boogers are actually a good thing to see because, well, that means that your body's doing what it's supposed to be doing, trapping those things so they don't go down into the lungs, and making sure you get them out. Now, if we didn't have that, like I said, those things would go down into our lungs, and you could end up with lung irritation, or at worst, even a lung infection. And of course, this speech was actually meant for the resource room, basically, some people that work in the resource room, they interact with a lot of young children on a regular basis, and sometimes young children have a propensity for kind of going digging and snacking. Well, in looking around, I actually found a resource. Dr. Oz, we're all pretty familiar with him. He did a survey, and the survey was conducted by his helpers, I guess, that around 91% of those actually admitted to picking. And around 8 also said that they actually ate their boogers. It's often quite frustrating when the kids do it and you're trying to stop them. And it looks pretty disgusting and unsightly. But is it really that bad for you? Is it going to hurt you if you eat your boogers? Well, the thing is, I guess the page. There we go. Well, the risk to eating your boogers, it's actually very minimal. The problem, actually, more is the act of picking. That's actually worse than eating. And that's because when you go up there and you're digging, that disturbs that mucus. That mucus is that barrier. And then if you end up with a nosebleed, well, that barrier is now broken. Chance for infection to get in. Even though that happens, the boogers are an effective immune system booster. Everyone does, in a way, eat their boogers regularly. The mucus that we all have as part of those boogers, well, when we're sleeping, that goes down. When we're just walking around, that goes down naturally. We actually make about a quart of that mucus daily. So that's got to go somewhere, because it's not going out of here, it's going back. Right? And that's why they say eating your boogers, well, that's okay. Then I looked at another resource that talked about the kids in Idaho and the average cost of health care. And it runs around $140. I don't know, I think this is a year. They didn't say if it was annual or monthly. But people who have kids that are disabled, they usually don't get a whole lot of money. So they're kind of stuck at the poverty line. We're kind of at that line too. So, having a child who eats their boogers and probably doesn't get sick much might actually be a good thing. They aren't sick much. They aren't absent from school as much. There's this professor actually doing this study. He's a Canadian biochemist, and out of Canada. His name is Scott Napper. He says that boogers are an effective immune system booster, and that the research that he's doing is to help back up his claims. He also believes it's an evolutionary process, and that's because there's an article on the Mayo Clinic's site that talks about a theory called the evolutionary process, or hygiene hypothesis rather. It's a hygiene hypothesis. It states that early exposure helps teach our immune systems what's around us. So maybe we talk about licking things, touching things. When kids do that, we think they're exploring. Well, they might also be building an immune system. that gives you like natural immunity. Kind of like when you get a shot, right? Well, that's secondary immunity. You know, exposes you to germs that are like dead or not as harmful as like real live germs. But you probably, how you don't get vaccinated when you're sick. Well, same thing kind of with kids. You probably shouldn't be eating your boogers if you're sick, because boogers do contain germs. This biochemist, this challenge though, has been trying to get people to basically sign up for the study, because what he'll do is he'll put like an artificial type of booger in the people's noses that are participating, and then the person not only has to dig it out, they have to eat it. And well, most people don't do that. They don't actively participate in doing that. So, but then there's this chairman who's the Department of Preventive Medicine at Vanderbilt. His name is Dr. William Schaffner. He said that because we ingest everything regularly, eating boogers really doesn't hold any water, right? Well, I don't know. It's up for debate. My younger brother, he dined on his boogers regularly as a child. He was also the healthiest of all 4 of his kids. And Journey, of course, she also picks and eats. I've seen her do it. I don't know if she does it because she enjoys the reaction. That probably is the case. But I think she also does it just as a combination of the health part, or just she actually likes them. I really don't know the reaction, or just eating them, which she enjoys more. She also was out a lot more when she was younger. We talked about early intervention and therapies and stuff. And, that exposed her to a lot of germs. Kaylee, though, wasn't out much. She cried a lot, so she was home. When Kaylee gets sick, 3 minutes?
7 minutes.
7 minutes left?
No, you've done 7.
Okay. Kaylee ate a lot didn't eat her boogers. She stayed at home a lot, and she was always sick. And when she gets sick, she takes forever to get better. Journey, other hand, when she gets sick, she gets over it faster. Okay, so ingesting the boogers, it might help with the immune system, and I don't encourage them that they do eat them, but I tell them if they're gonna do it, don't make a show out of it. Okay, I don't want to see it. Also, too, putting their fingernails, that helps keep down the bleeding, and then think about the energy you use trying to get them to stop. That's a lot of stress. Don't stress out so much because it's not that dangerous. Basically, if I'm not convinced you eat their boogers, or that it's okay to eat their boogers, at least don't stress out about it. And that's kind of what I do. So, but there you go. And I have some resources